Denise, I was actually checking to see the last time you and I did an interview, and it was on 2018 Juno Awards. You were being honored, which was great to be there for the, not just for the event, but for what was going on with you, because you and I have known each other for so long. You've done so much for the music industry. You're such a groundbreaker, and you're still helping.
You.
Well, it's true, and you're still helping out with MusiCounts and what we're going to be talking about here. But how do you feel about the way you've contributed to Canadian music, the industry, for women in this industry, for always standing up for human rights? I mean, I can keep going on and on and on. Like, I could just keep yapping, and it would be a full, hour interview before we actually start asking questions. But you must be really, proud of yourself of everything you've done, because I know I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Rudy. That's very sweet. Well, it's, for me, it's always been about trying to, how to make meaning, I guess. How do you use whatever power or platform that you have and make a contribution? So, it has been, it's been social justice and women and, entertainment and culture, etc. But, I think that we're put here to actually leave the world a better place in some ways. And MusiCounts is just one of them. I've been on the advisory board for MusiCounts since it started, I think, which is well over, I think, 2 decades. That may age me. But I remember when it was a very tiny organization. Dean Cameron, departed president of BMI, he used to say, well, I think the blender's on slow here. Let's ramp this up. And they have. The impact they've made, across the country in terms of getting music education and music in the hands of young people is they're filling a huge need. And it's such an amazing thing to see what happens with young people when they get exposed to the opportunity to make music.
And I was just going to ask you that, if you could even elaborate a little bit more, because I know when I was growing up, I was in a band throughout my whole, I think it was from grade 2 to grade 12.
Right. What instrument did you play?
Trombone was my main one, trumpet and baritone. So really 3 different instruments.
Good for you. Well, it's all about the embouchure, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And I was always brass. Always had to deal with the brass. And the thing is, though, even though I played football, I did all these things, I always enjoyed the band and always enjoyed music. For folks that don't really realize, for kids, how important do you think being in a band, playing an instrument, whatever kind of instrument, and just dealing with music, how do you think it really reflects on a child? Because I know for myself, it really gave me, it was almost like that was the door that I could open up to, and I could be myself, and, no fear. That's probably the best word. Well,
it's, I've always thought that music education in schools isn't one of those nice to haves, but it's a must have. It actually builds better Canadians at the end of the day. And there's, mountains of research to support the idea that, or the fact that music, increases so many things for young people, from language proficiency to self-confidence and focus. It bridges big cultural gaps. It teaches young people resilience and responsibility and empathy, social acuity, teamwork. It even actually, they do brain research, and there's studies to support that, it only takes 1 hour a week of music education to make permanent and positive changes to the brain functions of young people. It even helps them with math. So the fact that, it's in arrears across the country, that there's such a huge need for musical instruments and music teachers, at MusiCounts, every year we get literally hundreds of applications for these grants to put music instruments in schools and to support teachers, etc. We can only ever do 1 in 5. So there's a huge need and huge benefits for young people to be able to take music. And they want it, Rudy. I mean, this pandemic, has really uprooted and is a huge, massive challenge for everyone on every level we can think of. But young people still want to play music, and we've seen them, cutting holes in their face masks to put the clarinet reed in there so they can still perform. It really is heartbreaking and wonderful.
That is amazing. And just to add into right now, the Juno Awards, KRS, they're actually looking for submissions for folks who want to nominate a music teacher.
Yeah.
They do this every year. Well, you can talk about that because they do it every year.
Every year there's a music teacher that we celebrate, and you know what, those stories are incredible when you hear from, first of all, when you choose, because people have to be nominated and go through a selection adjudication process, but when you've chosen the music teacher and then it's announced to the schools, I mean, you can never feel more button busting proud of the kids and the teacher, because they really are role models. They really are making a vital difference in young people's lives.
Absolutely. And just to add in the fact for folks who want to make that nomination too, there's usually a Canadian celebrity who comes over to the school when that big announcement is being made too. So I've been there for some of these announcements. It's very cool to see the
great
teachers and the kids and everybody else too. But you know, as you said, COVID-19 happening right now, everything's different, and we have to do things in a virtual status. There's a virtual concert going on. What is going on, and how is this connected with MusiCounts?
Well, MusiCounts, like many organizations, and many institutions, many stores, everybody's had to pivot, that word. I mean, pivoting so much, people are pirouetting, I think, at this point. So what MusiCounts did was really work with top music educators across the country to, figure out ways to create a central hub for music educators to share resources, to share understanding. If they've come up with new ways of teaching music virtually, they're sharing those sorts of things. And it's really been beneficial to be sort of that communication hub for music teachers across the country. So, well done for MusiCounts for being able to react as quickly as they did. But we still need more funds, right? As I said, we can only do 1 in 5 schools. And, with the pandemic, as you look forward, every organization does this. It's like, okay, first we react, and then we have to rebuild so that when the pandemic is over, we can actually emerge in a new, more vital way. So that's what MusiCounts is focusing on. And that's why we're having the event, so that people can dive in and donate and get excited.
Who are some of the artists who are going to be part of this?
Well, that's a secret from me.
Really?
I don't know. They're still putting it together, but there's lots of, celebrities, musicians, talking about MusiCounts, talking about how, in many cases, music saved their lives. But you can find out more about it at musicounts.ca, how to donate, what's going on, etc. And it's going to be a fun night.
Well, I've seen some of the names, if I can even mention some of them to you, that I've seen. Mariana's Trench is part of this. Splashing Boots, Corey Hart, which I cannot wait to see the performance. Tyler Shaw, the Tenors. Like, this looks like, and there could be even more names too added to this list. This sounds like such a massive event. This is something where it'd be like, some big stadium or hall or something like that folks can be a part of. You talked a little bit about, again, how important MusiCounts is, but and let's stress it a little bit more, especially because of COVID-19 and because we cannot physically all be together. I mean, I remember watching the performances that were happening during Remembrance Day and how everybody had to be so apart when they were playing music and stuff, and it just sort of broke your heart because that was a time to bring people together. Events like this, MusiCounts, even though we are separate, this is a way to bring people together.
It is, and I think it's really, props to the music industry because, there's so much creativity that comes from musicians, and especially, they're working as independents in a lot of ways too. So trying to figure out, okay, I need that connection. How do I make that connection? So, I mean, in the old days, we just used to ship tapes across continents so somebody could add a guitar part. And now you just, you're trading digital information. And so you see these beautiful situations where people are, they're performing together and yet separate. So, hopefully it's going to be a great night. So it's, and should I just say Thursday, December 10th at 8 p.m., MusiCounts and UnSilent night.
There we go. Facebook Live, it's going to be, tickets are $10. That is so dirt cheap to be able to get back and see all these great performances. For folks who want to learn more about MusiCounts, where can we go to that if they just want to donate, learn more, just be part of all this?
Yep, go to www.musicounts.ca/school, and you can donate now and help music education get put into the hands of kids that need it most. We're really focusing on underserved areas all through the north, some of the poorer areas in our country that don't have a lot of advantages. So, yeah, you can change somebody's life with a donation. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Look, before we go, I kick myself not being able to say this. Your husband, I had a chance to speak with him about a week or so ago with his new singles. Amazing songs that he has written, probably some of his best work, and so personal. Do you mind talking a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, Murray Mclaughlin, my husband, we've been married for over 30 years, and the music he's been making lately has really been, a song called "I'm Living on a White Cloud," which is and the 1%. So he's really looking into his own heart in reaction to what's going on. This pandemic has revealed so much in terms of systemic racism, in terms of social injustice. We're putting climate change on the back burner. I often wonder, where are all the protest songs? I mean, it's not like there isn't anything to write about. And then turns out I turn around and Murray's been doing just that. And I agree with you. It's some of the most heartfelt and provocative and yet sonically melodious music he's ever done. It's really proud of him.
Absolutely. And, of course, folks can go on Reedy Blair Entertainment Media, reedyblairmedia.com, to listen to I think it was like we talked for almost a half hour about this, just amazing conversation. And as we wrap this up, conversation with COVID-19, what's going on in the U.S., racism being spoken in such a different manner than it's ever been before, what we see on social media with the, now the new terms of Karens and Kevins and people fighting about wearing masks and not wearing masks. I mean, what do you think about all of this? Black Lives Matter, other people saying white lives matter, the Trump versus Biden. Sometimes I literally have to turn off social media and the television because it's an overload, and I guess it's an overload for so many people.
I hear you. I really hear you. And there is a lot going on. I mean, it's frustrating because, for me, my antidote to despair is usually to take action. I remember when after the election in America, there was a women's march. I was going to go down to Washington, and I thought, God, I cannot bear to go down there. Sorry, here's my political stripe showing. So I went on the Women's March here in Toronto, and I saw, women, men, kids, young people, old people, marching because they believed in that we can be better. And it reminded me that this is the first time in our lives maybe that we've had so many tools at our disposal, literally at our fingertips, to communicate, to agitate, to press for change. So even if you're stuck in your house in, COVID-19 times, there are still things you can do. There are things you can donate to. Margaret Atwood, I think, said it best, or the Oracle, as we call her. At the beginning of the pandemic, she said, look around and see the things that you desperately want to be there when this pandemic is over, and donate to them. And I thought that is good advice. And solid education for kids in terms of MusiCounts and instruments in kids' hands, and giving kids an opportunity, giving them possibilities to be the best they can be. It's certainly a good choice in my books.
Absolutely agree with you. I'll let you go. Thank you so much. Love you so much. Also, say hello to Murray for me. Have a great Christmas and a safe holiday. And hopefully in 2021 with, talking vaccines and stuff, next time we can talk, it can be in person. I'm really hoping to see you again.
We're going to get there. And thank you, Rudy. And big virtual hugs back to you. Look at I'm air hugging.
Same here.
Have an awesome day.
You too. Take care. Be safe.
Take care.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Be safe. Bye, Rudy. Love you too.
Oh.